Hi, my name is James Shearer and this is my top 5 must-see movies and TV shows of 2019. First up we have Les Miserables. This is a British TV show on the BBC, based on the book of the same name by Victor Hugo. Now if you know about musical theatre, you'll know that there's a musical called Les Miserables, which is also based on the book. However, this TV show is not a musical, and it actually sticks much closer to the book than it does to the musical. So if you're not a musical person, then don't worry, there's no singing at all, apart from if, a character's singing in the story. It's literally just a period drama about the struggles of living in war-torn 1800s France. However, if you are a musical person and you do know Les Mis on the stage, then it's actually really interesting to see the differences and similarities between the two shows. Since the TV show follows the book a lot more, there's things that are in the TV show that aren't in the musical that they couldn't fit into the 3.5 hour musical. For example, in the first episode, they focus a lot more on the relationship between Fantine and Cosette's father, which is completely left out of the musical, so it's interesting to see that side of things. I watched this on the BBC iPlayer. However, you do need a VPN, which I'll talk more about at the end of this video, which basically lets you be in the UK and watch things that aren't allowed to be viewed outside the UK. Next up we have a YouTube show called Good Mythical Morning, and it's hosted by these two self-proclaimed rednecks called Rhett and Link. They grew up in North Carolina and they moved to LA to start a YouTube show. And it's now the most watched show on YouTube. These guys do an episode every single weekday, and they do all sorts of different things. They do eating challenges, they do commentaries on different internet topics. That it's actually really hard to describe without actually showing you what they do. So just go watch it. And if you do get hooked on GMM, then you're lucky because you've got about 7 years of daily episodes to catch up on. I envy you, honestly. Next up we've got the only movie on my list today, which is Cloud Atlas. This is one of my favourite movies of all time, and I will tell you why. Let me just read the plot synopsis to you. An exploration of how the actions of individual lives impact one another in the past, present, and future, as one soul is shaped from a killer into a hero, and an act of kindness ripples across centuries to inspire a revolution. How awesome is that synopsis? The cast list on this, as you can see from this picture here, is stacked. It's like a Hollywood Walk of Fame movie. Let me just pull up my IMDb page here. Tom Hanks, Halle Berry, Jim Broadbent, Hugo Weaving, Ben Whishaw, who most recently was in the new Mary Poppins movie, Hugh Grant. And so the movie tells 6 different stories in 6 different timelines simultaneously. These timelines happen in 6 different years. So these years are 1849, 1936, 1973, 2012, 2144 and 2321. And the same actors are used in all of these different timelines to basically show reincarnation and how what you do in one life will affect what your soul goes through in the next life, and the next life, and the next. So it's directed by the Wachowski twins, who directed things like The Matrix, V for Vendetta, Speed Racer, and of course this movie Cloud Atlas. It's just a genius movie, and you should definitely watch it. It's on Netflix. Next up is probably something that every single person on earth knows about, Breaking Bad. I put this one on here because it's my favourite TV show ever. I think it's probably a fact that it is the best TV show ever. In my opinion, of course. It's just a masterclass in acting and character development, and for filmmaking. Like, the camera angles in this show alone just blow every other show out of the water. Shots from underneath objects that shouldn't be able to be, the bottom shouldn't be able to be seen through, but they put a glass bottom on the bottom of like a frying pan, and someone cooks eggs on the frying pan. The creator of the show, Vince Gilligan, is just a genius. In his words, they wanted to take Mr. Chips and turn him into Scarface and still make you root for him. and they did it. They absolutely did it. If you haven't seen this show, then why? And do yourself a favor and go and watch it right now. But if you have seen this show, watch it again. I've watched the whole thing twice now. Probably going to watch it a third time and probably a fourth time, and you just pick up on more things the more you watch it. Like something that happens in the first season will be relevant in the 5th season, but you wouldn't know that the first time you watch it through because you're only watching it for the first time. But if you watch it back, you'll be like, oh, you know? And last but not least is Dynasties. So I literally just watched the first episode of this last night. It's amazing. So it's the new David Attenborough documentary, and it follows these animal families or dynasties. All of David Attenborough's shows are known for their cinematography and their wildlife photography and everything, but this just takes it to the next level. Just how close they look like they're getting, even though they're using lenses that you can be so far back from the subject and still be like up on their eyes, but they're just right in the action. I've only watched the first episode, which is Chimpanzee, which is the middle guy there, and it's about the leader whose name is David. And the camera crew followed this troop of chimpanzees for 2 years, and just the drama of the show is almost human, like the power struggles, the relationship between the chimpanzees, the daily struggle of life and the harsh environment that they're in. And it's so dramatic as well. In this first episode there was a drought, and then they focus in on a leaf, and then a raindrop falls and the music swells, and you're like and it's amazing. And it was probably like someone dripped a water bottle on a leaf and they filmed it, but that's not what it looked like. It was like these chimpanzees are about to die, and that now it's raining and now they can live. You can watch this for free actually if you just get a free TVNZ account, and it's on TVNZ on demand. Too easy. I'll just talk quickly about the VPN that I talked about earlier. So what a VPN is marketed as primarily is it's a software that protects your information if you're on an insecure network, and it does this by virtually placing your device in a different place so that hackers and viruses trying to find your information, it's impossible for them to find you because you're not actually there. It sounds a little dodgy, but if you actually pay for a VPN, it's perfectly legal and it just keeps your information safe. Now the perk of this is that you can put your device in a different place, as I said. So say if you want to watch Breaking Bad, it's not on New Zealand Netflix, but it is on the US Netflix. So what you're able to do is log on to the VPN app, choose United States, press go, and boom, you're in the US. The VPN that I use is ExpressVPN. I think it's about $120 a year, which literally works out to like 30 cents a day. However, you do have to pay yearly. You can't pay weekly or monthly or whatever, so that's the only downside of that. But it's pretty cheap when you think about it, and it lets you watch things that aren't available in your country. So that's about it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and like my Facebook page, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.